Hello, this is Stranger in the Lake by Enrique Nieto from For Lovers Only, number 84, 1976. The water of Bear Lake was ice cold when I dove off the pier, but the shock of the cold water wasn't nearly as great as what I saw when I dove deep, looking for the boat anchor from one of Dad's boats. What is this? He has no right to be here. You look mad. Any particular reason? My father owns this fishing camp, and the success depends on fish being in the water. You probably scared them off for the summer. Don't worry about frightening the fish near your dock. There aren't any. That's what Dad's customers say. I guess this isn't a good lake for fishing. You've got terrific fish in here, but you have to know where they are. Don't be stupid. No one knows where the. Wait a minute, Jill. Do you know where the fish are, mister? I'm Dean Riddle, Mr. Donlin. I've been scuba diving all over this lake, and I do know what where good fish can be found. Maybe you'll tell me what you know. I'll pay you if the information is accurate. My name is Nick Donlin, and you've met my daughter Jill. Glad to know you both, Mr. Donlin. I'm Dean Riddle, a graduate instructor at State U. Dad had a map of the lake, and Dean marked off the hot spots for fishing while I served coffee and cake. There are lake trout in the hole north of your dock, and the other end of the lake, some lunkers hang around the inlet. I've got books explaining how fish feed and behave according to water temperature, time of year, and time of day. I'm not that expert on a fisherman. It was probably a mistake to buy this lodge. A lot of experts don't know any more about it than you do, Nick. If you study the subject, you'll soon know a lot more than they do. Later, having coffee, there was no guests there then. Nick and Dad and I canoed to the head of the lake. He told us what fishing lures to use and how deep to fish. You were right, Dean. I got a strike too. We caught three big trout, then put Dean ashore to get his things, and he drove around the lake to the lodge. Here he comes, Dad. I know some fishermen at the university. I'll tell them about your place, Nick. Now I know they'll catch fish. I'll invite some of my disappointed customers back. And I have a sleeping bag and nylon shelter. I figured I'd camp across the lake. Our cabins are empty now, Dean. Use one of them and have breakfast with us in the morning. I spoke to about 10 fishermen who were up here at the lodge before. They like the lodge, but not the fishing. I guaranteed them fish. If they don't get action, they don't get a bill. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send a form letter to people telling them that no fish, no charge. We may lose a lot of money, Dad, but we'll have more customers. Friday evening, 7 fishermen arrived. Dad was nervous, and I got an idea. Dean, how would you like to come visit us over the weekend? We have fishermen, and Dad expects them to find fish. What do you mean there'll be a fee? Not money? Okay, we'll talk about it. Dean arrived an hour's drive, he said, just as I was serving hotcakes, bacon, and sausage. As he ate, he talked with others about the fishing. Now, the previous owner whited out this panel for some reason I can't imagine. But getting used comic books is always kind of interesting, and I'll show you at the end a couple of interesting items. Across the lake in the shallow water, there's good bass fishing. You might hit some there tonight, just about dark. I wonder what he meant by a fee. Okay, they're going to catch fish. Now, what was that fee? I hardly slept wondering about. You can pay it right now, Miss Donlin. I should stop him, but there, paid in full. Is that what you meant? Here's your receipt. It was Dad's finest day since he bought the camp. I guided two fishermen to the inlet. Dad, Dean had two others at another good spot. I got another lunker. Everybody's happy. Later, Dad is happy again, Dean. We're lucky you happened along. I didn't just happen along, Jill. I was up here gathering material for a paper on ecology when I saw you. I hung around you dock for days before we accidentally met. I'm very glad you did, Dean. Want to swim? I think I do, Jill. It's not just fun and games anymore. Later, I more or less told Dean exactly that. Don't misunderstand me, Dean. I like you very much, but I don't want to be involved if we have no choice now, Jill. We are involved, and it's too late to turn back. We've got to find out how much we really mean to each other. I'm frightened, Dean. Ah, the final kiss. What are you afraid of, darling? I was afraid you wouldn't love me, Dean, but now I know I'm not. Kiss me again, please. Enrique Nieto. The end. Look at this. Charlton Comics were collecting data on kids way back in 1976. In this reader survey, they're asking, do you watch TV? What do you watch on TV? What's your favorite show? Where did you get this comic? Did your parents buy it for you or did you buy it yourself? Your sister bought it. How many times do you go back and read this comic and reread it? 100 times. The time it takes to read this comic is about half an hour. How many others besides yourself will also read this comic after you have finished with it? Her friends Angie and Pinkard. Then on the next page, it says, which of the following activities do you engage in? And she checks basketball, bicycling, camping, play a musical instrument, the trumpet. Do you send for items advertised in the comics? No. Which of the following items have you bought within the past month? For those you bought, please state their favorite brand. Pepsi, Snickers, and bubble gum. Which of the following snack foods have you eaten in the past month? For those of you who have eaten, please state your favorite brand. Moore's potato chips, uh, Kay's ice cream, Mom's cookies, Ritz crackers, and Jif peanut butter. Uh, do you eat cold cereal or hot cereal? Cold cereal. She doesn't know what kind though. Do you wear sneakers? Yes, Nikes. Do you wear jeans? Yes, Levi's. How many cars does your family have? One. Are you a girl? How old are you? 11. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Yes. If yes, how old are they? Sisters 27 and 22. Do you live in a house or apartment? House. What's your father's occupation? Manager in computer kind of business. Does your mother work? No. How much did you spend for comics last week? 0. And it's signed Laura on Happy Valley Road in Elizabeth, Tennessee. I guess it wasn't unusual for them to run these questionnaires. I've seen them in other comics, and they're usually filled out. It's kind of funny. Well, that's it for this time. I hope you liked this video, and if you liked it, like it. And your comments mean a lot. And if you feel like subscribing, well, that's up to you. Thanks a lot.